Hey everybody, it's your pal Trandel. Welcome back to obviously not the Division 2. I wanted to make a quick video for this game. Just an FYI, Division 2 content is coming out. I am working on it. It's just the Division 2 is an absolutely massive game, and it's one of my favorite all-time games that I've been playing for years, and I want to do it justice. But I really wanted to get this video out for this game. So, where are we? We are in the world in the game of Once Human. It is a currently in developed closed beta game. I believe it's being co-developed and published by NetEase and a studio called Starry Night. Honestly, there isn't that much information I've been able to find out about this game, and that's another one of the reasons why I wanted to make a video for it, because if any of you have ever seen my videos for Remnant 2, I've mentioned this tons of times. I do not make content for games that I personally do not play or enjoy. If it's a game I enjoy and I think it's worthwhile, I want to share it. And this game, Once Human, TLDR, has been a very, very pleasant surprise. So, let's talk about it. What is it? So, Once Human is a open world survival MMO, sandbox MMO. Where have we heard that line before? Well, unless you've been living under a rock or are brand new to gaming in general, the day before released yesterday, and it was a complete dumpster fire, a train wreck, a complete scam. Exactly what 99.99% of us thought it was going to be. Every red flag was realized. It's a joke. The game is a joke. And so when I first came across this game, Once Human, about a week or two ago, it showed up in my YouTube feed, and I checked it out. I'll be honest, I wasn't very hopeful, but I enjoy gaming in general. I love all types of games. I love looter shooters, Destiny 2, like The Division 2. I love MMOs. I've been playing MMOs for decades now. I love open world sandbox survival games. I enjoy Valheim. Valheim's one of my favorite games of all times. Don't Starve. And so when I saw the tagline, open world sandbox survival MMO, I'm like, oh man, this is going to be a joke. This is going to be, another game like the day before. It's not going to deliver on anything at all. It's going to be absolute garbage. And, I decided, what the hell, I'll give it a shot. There was a closed beta coming up. I put in for it. Thankfully, I got in. And the game is fun, folks. The game is actually fun. And it is so far delivering on the promises. It is delivering a open world sandbox survival MMO. And so let's talk about that a little bit. So let's go through all the different gameplay loops. Let's go through the mechanics. Let's start with the open world. Let's break this down into chunks. Okay, so as you can see, this is a huge open world, and let's take a quick look at the map. It's if they deliver on this, it's going to be ginormous. Okay, so this is the areas that I believe are currently open in the closed beta at the moment. We got the Dayton wetlands, and we have the Broken Delta. Some of these might be open. I'm not sure yet. But these areas I know for a fact are. I haven't even touched 10% of this stuff yet, folks. It is massive. There are no load screens that I've encountered so far. The only load screens I've encountered is at the very start of the game when you're in like the little tutorial section where it's kind of teaching you the the basics of the game, and in the boss dungeon, which is like a little instance boss fight. The world is massive, and like as you can see, there's landmarks everywhere, and you can actually explore all this. And you can explore this like industrial mining site over here and find different enemies, different resources, loot to search down, and treasure boxes to find. You can explore like these towns and stuff like that. You see something that catches your eye, you can go there and explore it. And I just want to show you something real fast because I found this shit earlier and it blew my mind. And it's stuff like this that absolutely makes games like these enjoyable. First things first, I just barely got my motorcycle. So I've been dying to try this bad boy out. Alright, add fuel. Oh, it's already got fuel. Sweet. Oh, yeah, baby. So oh God, it's WASD. Okay. First time on the motorcycle, folks. So I found this, right, while I was running around exploring, doing what you're supposed to do. And it should be right up here somewhere, if I remember correctly. Yes! Yes! Alright, how do I get rid of my... Oh, is it just always there? Okay. Anyways, oh, okay, hold on. Alright, so, yeah, I found this. And I'm like, oh my God, it's like Elden Ring meets the cat bus from My Neighbor Totoro. And this is actually the second one of these I have found. There's an actual bus with legs that's all creepy. And if you shoot out the legs, the bus will drop low enough so you can climb inside and get the chest inside. This one, I'm guessing it's some type of world event. I don't know. Now, here's one of the things I do want to bring up real fast. And we'll talk about this a little bit more in the cons. It's a closed beta. It's an Eastern developed game. There are some localization issues, as you can see in the upper left-hand corner. I have no idea exactly what that says because I do not read. I'm going to guess that's some type of Chinese or something. I don't read that, but I mean, look at this thing. This thing is amazing. It's awesome. And so like with this one, what you do is you shoot these little glowing ball hands thing, right? And when you knock them all out, it will drop down low enough so you can climb up inside it and explore that house. This is the type of shit that makes games like this worth playing. This makes you want to explore, the world and see what's out there. Is running into stuff like this. So the open world aspect, 100% on point. It is amazing. I have had so much fun. So yeah, some type of public event. I've had so much fun running around this game world and exploring it and finding all the different locations. It's been an absolute blast. Alright, let's see if I can get up. Oh, I crashed into my house. Okay. But yeah. Put upright. Oh. So yeah, that's the first game loop. It is a open world, folks, and honestly, it's gorgeous. I actually have some of the settings turned down because again, it's closed beta, transparency. There are some performance issues, but in just the couple days that the closed beta has been going, it started on the 6th. They've already pushed out a couple patches, and it's definitely getting a lot more stable with every update. The world is gorgeous. There's stuff to see and find everywhere. There's animals roaming around. As you can see, there's a little bunny rabbit right there that you can kill for its hide and for some meat. And I thought I saw a deer over here too. Or at least I thought I did. But yeah, there's all kinds of animals. Yeah, right here. You can hunt these animals and get their skins. There's stuff you can, gather. There's resources you can mine. So the open world sandbox part of it is being delivered. The promise is being delivered. Now, the survival part of it also, as you can kind of see at the bottom, you do have stats that you have to keep track of, and they actually matter. You only have so much stamina where you can only sprint so far or do so many melee attacks. So you got to watch your stamina. You have sanity, which can be decreased by being attacked by certain types of enemies called deviants and stuff. And in certain areas where there's like a deviant pollution, that will also start decreasing your sanity. There's a thirst meter where if your thirst gets too low, you won't be able to sprint, right? Now, see how I'm hydrated? I can sprint faster and longer. Your energy, same thing with the little stomach. If your energy gets too low and you haven't eaten anything in a while, your melee attacks will start doing less damage. And I think even your maximum HP will start going down too. So the survival loop is in there. It is working. It actually does matter. It will affect your gameplay. The base building, as you can see, it works. It functions. Is it the most elaborate thing in the world? Honestly, I don't know. I've never been one of those types that get super crazy with my base building, but as you can see, some of my neighbors are definitely, putting my little square box to shame. So yeah, I've seen quite a few houses and bases set up with, slanted and sloped roofs, different colors, different textures, and things like that. Actually, you know what? I wonder if we can check that out. Let's go on a little exploration here. And unlike the day before, you can actually jump over shit. So oh man, I broke my foot. Chorus. Again, survival aspects do work. All right, let's check this out. So yes, definitely way more, detail has been put into this than with mine. So yeah, you can actually put together some, pretty decent stuff. Oh man, this person's doing, we got some Jack Daniels. Does that actually say Jack Daniels? Okay, no, it doesn't. Maybe it does. I don't know, man. That's some, okay. Might want to be careful with that, folks. Some copyright. We got somebody, chilling right here. Hey, what's up? Howdy, neighbor. But yeah, the base building is fun. Again, it works. It works. It actually functions. The promise is delivered. Base building works in this game. And there's all kinds of crafting and stuff, we'll head back to my base and check that out. As you obviously saw, they're swimming. Let's head back over here. We'll run up here. Da 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 da. And the crafting is something I really want to talk about because it's been one of the things that I have been really, really impressed with so far. And enjoying the most so far. So, like in games, again, of the survival, type, Valheim, Don't Starve, there is a crafting system. Of course, you can make food that will give you certain benefits, increase your survival stats and stuff like that. But what I really want to talk about is the gear and weapon crafting. Because that is where I have been super, super impressed with how deep it is so far and how fun it is. So, again, games like Valheim and stuff like that, you can craft all kinds of gear, you can craft all kinds of weapons. But this takes it a little bit further. So instead of just crafting a spear that gives you a little bit more extra damage or stuff like that, the weapons in this game actually have passives, and some of them also have active, skills too that can be activated for short buffs. So kind of like with this guy right here, this this pistol has a weapon passive where each reload consumes 1 or 2 more bullets, and your weapon damage is increased per bullet consumed, right? But it also has a skill that can be activated. So when you activate it, when the weapon is activated, damage is actually doubled upon bullet consumption for 8 seconds. So there's some crazy shit you can do with some of these weapons, and I haven't even come close to finding them all just yet. And we can actually take a look through here. So how it works is, as you're exploring the game, you're finding chests, you're beating bosses and stuff like that. You have a chance to find blueprint fragments where you can learn these blueprints, and find more weapons and gear to craft. And some of them are pretty cool. I'm guessing if we're using your basic kind of MMO tiers, green is pretty normal, and then you got blues. As you can see, greens only have weapon passes; they don't have the actives. Blues are where you start running into the weapon active skills, and then like these goldish colors. These start getting kind of crazy with some of the passives and stuff that I'm seeing, which is really, really cool because then you can start actually doing build crafting and theory crafting, especially with the armor blueprints. So, if any of you have out there have played the Division 2, this might look kind of familiar. So how how armor gear works in this game is very similar to how it works in the Division 2, where certain pieces of armor have set bonuses that you can get depending on how many pieces of that set you're currently wearing. This is a perfect example right here. This rustic hat's part of the rustic set. And with each set piece you wear, you get more and more stats. One piece you get, movement speed. 2 pieces you get melee damage. 3 you get, more HP. 4 you get gathering speed. So kind of like with brand sets in the Division 2. And just like the Division 2, you can mix and match these set pieces to actually start building a build. And I'll kind of show you what I got so far. So with my current build, I have 3 pieces of this rustic set, so I get that movement speed, I get that melee damage, which melee combat isn't bad in this game. I'm actually having fun with it. I actually really do rely on melee combat quite a bit in this game. So that's something I wanted to start building into. So I get that melee damage, and I get 600 plus HP since I am predominantly playing in melee range. So I got 3 pieces of this rustic set on. I have 2 pieces of this test subject set, and that gives me pollution resist, which is that debuff that you can run into in certain areas where it starts hitting your sanity. So I wanted some more pollution resist, so I wasn't affected quite as much. And the 2-piece gives me even more HP. So I'm starting to be a pretty tanky boy. I can take quite a few hits before I have to really start thinking about disengaging and healing and stuff like that. And for just the last piece, I threw on this gathering, this raid set that gives me some gathering speed, right? But yeah, you can mix and match these, kind of like in, the Division 2, to start creating builds and stuff like that. And again, there is so many. And also, like in the Division 2, you also have some that are like basically just uniques where they don't have a set piece, but you can get passives like this right here. When hitting an enemy affected by burn, there is a 5% chance to trigger burn again, dealing blaze damage equal to the burn stacks multiplied by your psi intensity, which is one of your stats. This I would absolutely totally want to get for my build, because one of my favorite melee weapons I've been using so far is a torch, which its weapon passive is after hitting an enemy 3 times, it inflicts burn, and burn can stack up to 3 times. So if I'm hitting something with my torch and I inflict the burn, and if I was wearing this helmet, which also has a chance to inflict burn on whenever something is burned, this can do some crazy shit. And when I saw this, I'm like, oh yeah, this is my type of game. I'm already thinking of builds and stuff like that. So there is some cool shit in this crafting system, and again, I was super surprised by just how deep it seems to be going so far. Um, and again, it works. It's delivering on the promise. Survival games need crafting. They need crafting systems that make sense and that are enjoyable. And the crafting loop in this game has so far been very enjoyable. It makes sense. It's not super hard to pick up. It makes it worth your while to run around and gather materials. And again, going into the exploration side of things, where now we got systems and we have mechanics and gameplay loops that are interacting. Again, you find these blueprints by exploring the world, exploring what they call strongholds, which are like these little city centers. Um, that and even tells you, so like I haven't been here yet, right? So like the first time you go to a city center or a stronghold, you can do certain objectives. So like if you do all these objectives right here, find weapon crates and stuff, you can get rewards and stuff like that, and you can keep on doing this. But yeah, there's like mysterious treasure crates that you can find for blueprints and mods for weapons and gear and stuff like that. There's elite enemies you can kill, and there's all kinds of crazy ass secret stuff that I'm still exploring and finding out about. Like there's like these super secret treasures that you can find that are like donated by like these floating purple crystals, and it's kind of like a jump puzzle. I found one in this one town where at first I was like, okay, how the hell do I reach that? Because it was like literally floating in air, but I noticed it was pretty close to a roof of one of the houses. So I'm like, okay, I wonder if there's some way I can climb up on top of that house. And after doing some exploring, yes, there was. On one side of the house, there was like, I think a trash can or something I can climb up and get on top of the roof. And then I was able to do a running jump to, you know, grab that floating purple crystal and, you know, find the, you know, mystical, you know, treasure chest that's hidden. So it's, again, it's those, it's that exploration, giving your players incentives to actually roam around the world and check it out. And finding blueprints, you know, so you can learn more things to craft is also one of those incentives. So the open world gameplay loop is working. The crafting loop is working. Talking about the combat and stuff now, the combat is fun. So combat is either third-person shooter, as you see here, or like I said, melee. And melee is pretty, and there's some of the jank. Again, being transparent. There's definitely some jank in the game still, but they're getting better. They're working on it, and it's improving every single patch so far. So let's find a place real fast. Let's go here, and I'll show you all real fast what some of the combat looks like. And it's this way. Actually, we'll just go down here, because I definitely don't want to ride my bike in the middle of this. Okay. Oh, I like the little tire screech sound. I don't know if you heard that, but there were some tire screeches. Okay. Sweet. Ooh, I'm kind of curious real fast. Squirrel moment. All right, that hasn't used too much fuel. Okay. So, oh, actually, you know what? Let me eat real fast. Do I have anything to eat? Yes, I do. What do I have? We'll put on some. Actually, let's save that. We'll use this. Do I have anything else I can eat? Sure, why not? We'll use that. All right. So, it's not bad. It actually feels pretty decent so far, the combat. Let's find some enemies. There should be some zombie guys around here. Oh, yep, I hear something. Oh, here we go. So, like, one of the things you can do is kind of like a running battering ram, right? Where you sprint. Oh, wait. I did that wrong. Is there another guy? Here we go. Huh, that's weird. Why is it not working? I wonder if it's because there's obstacles in the way. Let's see if I can... The hell was that? Oh, freaking bug. Hold on. Alright. You're a dunzo. Alright. I really want to show you this because it's like one of my favorite things to do. There we go. So yeah, you can do like a running battering ram. That's a great way to start a fight because if you notice, it kind of knocks them off balance so they can't really attack right away. And you can just like start waylaying into them. Bam! I don't know, man. It feels good. It feels, you know, really satisfying to do that. And you can also do like sneak attacks, right? With your little dagger, which, hey, if you just want to, you know, silently take things out, you can totally do that. And the reason, oh shit. There we go. The reason you can do that, so like some of these enemies are kind of like zombies, right? They're not the most smartest, coherent things in the world. So you can like sneak up on them when you're crouching, because I don't know if you can hear it, but you're a lot more silent when you're crouching and moving than when you're just running around. And you can actually sneak up on enemies and do that backstab attack if you're out of their line of sight. But of course, there's this bug right here. I wonder if I can get rid of this guy. Okay. Now, let's see if I can find this zombie that was over. Oh, of course, he's looking at me. Bam! I love that. That's I love doing that attack. It's satisfying. Again, it works. It doesn't have to be super fancy to be enjoyable, as long as it works. That's honestly the only thing that matters when it comes to like gameplay and stuff like that. I mean, look at all these games that have been coming out over the past couple years, like these retro indie style games. A perfect example, Death Must Die. Oh my god, one of my favorite games that I've, you know, started playing recently. And it's like old school Super Nintendo 16-bit graphics, right? It's all pixel graphics. Absolutely amazing gameplay, though. The gameplay mechanics, the gameplay loop of Death Must Die is top-notch. 1,000 times better than, you know, honestly, a lot of the garbage that has been released over the past couple of years. You know, perfect example, games like Starfield, games like Diablo 4. Now, Diablo 4 is a great example, right? I will never deny that Diablo 4 graphically looks gorgeous. It's an amazing accomplishment graphically. It's a beautiful game. But it sucks. It's horrible. It's shallow. It's boring. When it was released, half of the mechanics didn't even work. There was almost absolutely no end game. Yeah, they had this huge quote-unquote open world that was completely lifeless and boring and honestly useless. It was a waste of, you know, time and resources, because, you know, once you did get to the quote-unquote end game, you did nothing in the open world. You just mindlessly grinded dungeons and I guess whatever version of Greater Rifts that they just barely implemented very recently. So the quote-unquote huge open world might as well not even exist, because they, you know, they did nothing with it. Whereas in this game, the open world is worth exploring. It's one of the core gameplay loops, and they make it worthwhile, you know, to run around. And I gotta show you this real fast. Let's see if I got this right. Oh, I did! Yes! So, one of the core combat mechanics is a system that they call control, where you can actually use it for more than combat. You can actually use it to gather materials and stuff too, like I just did with that. But you can also find elements in the environment, like that exploding barrel, that you can use against enemies to like blow them up. And not only that, but certain enemies will actually ooh, I hear twinkling. Wherever there's twinkling, there's a box. Let's see if we can find it. Yep. Gear cache. Sweet. So, like, you know, here's something right here. Here's a mod. And here's some rare materials that, you know, I was able to find by, again, paying attention to what's going around. So, quick tip for any of you that play this game, if you ever hear that twinkling sound, that means you're close to a gear or weapon cache. So, yeah, again, another one of those aspects where, you know, the gameplay loop works. You know, there's no point in having a huge open world if it's lifeless, if it's devoid of content, if there's no real reason to go out and explore. This game gives you all kinds of reasons. Oh yeah, there's my gliding thing. To explore and see what's out there. The combat is pretty enjoyable. Is it a little rough on the, you know, around the edges with some of the animations and stuff? Yeah, of course it is. It's closed beta. That's what closed betas are for. To find the jank, to find the things that aren't quite there yet and improve on them. Don't fucking release them like Diablo 4 and Starfield and then force your players to freaking deal with, you know, a buggy, half-finished product. You know, find them during the closed beta. So yeah, I'm totally okay with the fact that, you know, there's still some jank in the game. Totally okay. Because the core mechanics, the core gameplay loops work. And they are fun and they are enjoyable. So yeah, that's combat. The MMO side of thing is a little bit harder to show. But there should be a town relatively close by. Yes, right here. Let's get rid of this. Oh, no! Oh, nice. Okay, I have to be a little bit careful. WASD movement. Okay, there we go. I'll figure this out. So, oh, nice. I got an achievement. Hopefully it wasn't for running into the tree. Oh, God. Okay, yeah, definitely want to be on the road. Oh, wait, there's a radio? Are you... Oh, my God, okay. All right, that's a nice touch. I can appreciate that. I was wondering why that music was so loud and weird. There's a radio. You know what? I like that. I like that they thought about that little detail. That is actually really cool. Oh, there's hell. Oh, okay. Okay. All right, like seriously, the more I keep on finding in this game, the more I'm enjoying it. Let's turn off my headlight. That way I'm not blinding, you know, home spice right here. So yeah, there's towns. You will run into other players. You know, again, this is the starting town, so people are starting to move on a little bit. but you can also like leave notes and stuff for players. I'm not gonna open it because, of course, whenever you're dealing with people in an online game, you do run into quite a few assholes and trolls. But so far, this community is pretty decent. But kind of like think like Elden Ring or Dark Souls, you can actually leave notes for players. I've left one or two, letting players know that, hey, there's a treasure box on this roof or something. Or, hey, if you go downstairs into this basement, you'll find a weapon crate. So yeah, the MMO side of it is pretty fun. I've already started what they call a hive in this game, but it's basically a clan or a guild. Already have one member, and we were doing stuff yesterday, and it was really fun. We did our first boss dungeon, and the boss fight was enjoyable. There were actual mechanics that you had to pay attention to and use your brain to defeat the boss. So TLDR, basically, the boss was like this huge hulking monster with like a Gatling gun for one of his arms, right? And he was totally immune until you blew off the Gatling gun. So like you would attack the Gatling gun arm, and once you did enough damage to it, it would fall off, right? But it gets better. Remember how I was talking about, certain enemies actually have parts of their bodies that when you kill them, you can actually pick them up and use them for weapons. You could pick up the Gatling gun and just like well into this boss for a limited time. And then once the ammo ran out of the Gatling gun, you would just go back to using your regular weapons to well on him. So it would give you a slight, window of opportunity to put some damage into him. And then he would teleport on this ledge, and like these like alien pod things would pop up and would start spawning zombies until you killed them. So you had to kill the alien pod things, and then once you killed the alien pods, the boss would teleport back into the middle of the arena, and you would keep on going. But yeah, it was a fun boss fight, and again, there were mechanics that actually worked and were fun to interact with. And so we had a great time. It was an absolute blast. So, combat, the core gameplay loop, the mechanic of combat in this game is being delivered. It is fun. It's enjoyable. It's deep with the build crafting. Again, now this is where the core gameplay loops in a good game start synergizing with each other. The combat is fun and engaging because of the gear, because of the weapons that you can craft, and with all the different options you have for theory crafting and build crafting. And that is done by finding blueprints in this wide open world to explore. And while you're in this wide open world, you're finding enemies to engage in combat. Enemy variety so far has been pretty decent. There's your natural wildlife that you will find, and it's more than just deers and stuff. There's like giant crocodiles and wolves that you'll run into, and I'm sure somewhere out there's bears that you'll run into for combat. There's all kinds of different enemies. This is the starting zone. So most of them are like, these zombie variations, or the humans with like the items that are parts of their bodies that you can interact with, or like alien bugs like the giant flying beetle that we just encountered. There's spiders, like alien spiders that I've been running into. In the next higher level zone, there's even more stuff. There's like these huge honking shit, I don't even know how to describe them, but it was pretty fucking cool. Like more of the alien type creatures. So again, the enemy variety is keeping the combat mechanic fresh. It's keeping it from getting stale. It's interacting with the world exploration. It's interacting with the gear crafting. Because a lot of the enemies that you will find, I don't know if you noticed, but like some of the zombies I was killing were dropping acid, which is a very valuable crafting base that you need for like ammo creation and stuff like that. So all the gameplay loops, the core mechanics of the game work. They're enjoyable, they're synergizing, they're interacting with each other. So unlike the day before, Once Human is delivering on its promise of a open world sandbox survival MMO. And again, it was such a pleasant surprise to realize, oh my god, the game's actually fun. It's playable and it's doing the things that it promised it was going to do. So yeah, that's why I wanted to get this video out. Because again, I don't make content for games unless I actually play them, unless I actually enjoy them, and I want to share that experience, with people, and that's why we're here. So that's Once Human. It's currently in closed beta. You might still be able to get into it. I don't know. It's still showing the link, so I say give it a shot. If you like games like Valheim, if you like games like The Division 2, if you like MMOs, honestly, everything I've experienced so far in this game, it would be right up your alley. I've been having a blast with it. It's been a great time, so why not give it a shot? Go to their website, see if you can get into the beta. All right, folks, that's the video. My first impressions of the game so far, pros. It's not the day before. It's not. It actually is delivering on that open world sandbox survival MMO. And it's doing a pretty damn fine job of it so far. Crafting is honestly amazing. If they keep developing crafting the way they are now, it's going to be superb. The crafting in this game gives you so many options to make real builds that can change how you interact and play the game. So crafting is definitely a pro. And here's the kicker. Here's the last kicker, right? Apparently, so far, this game is going to be released free to play. Now, that can go multiple ways. They have made it pretty clear on their website when they brought this up that there will be a microtransaction shot, but it will be purely cosmetic. If they hold to that, holy shit. Oh my god, 100% would recommend this game in a heartbeat. If they start doing some really fucking sketchy, pay to win, type of schemes, then yeah. But so far I'm gonna give them some grace and just take them at their word that the game will be cosmetics only in the shop. If they can stick to that, honestly, I can 100% see this game being on my regular play rotation, because I've been enjoying it. I've already dropped quite a few hours into it in the past couple of days, and it's been a blast. So, pros. Not the day before. It's actually delivering on its promises. The gameplay loops work. The mechanics work, they're enjoyable. The crafting is super deep and really, really impressive so far, and possibly free to play without any pay to win shenanigans or bullshit. Cons: it's closed beta, folks. Again, as you've seen, there is some jank, but nothing that absolutely breaks anything. When the closed beta first started this time around, there were some login issues that people were going through. I went through a couple of them myself, but like I've said, they've already started releasing a bunch of updates. The stability has improved enormously in just the past couple days. I haven't had any disconnect issues at all since the first day. Again, some localization issues, as we saw from that public event. But other than that, for closed beta, it's pretty stable. It's pretty fun. Things are working. There are a couple of performance issues that they're still, kind of working out. But as you can see from the gameplay, it's definitely playable. And this is, wow. Let's check out the settings. Actually, I haven't checked my settings since the first day. Let's pop this up some. And let's see what that looks like. So there's low. Ooh. Okay. Ooh, that is okay. There's a little bit on the really quick movements, but not bad. I mean, I'm not seeing a bunch of hitching or anything like that. Alright, some of this stuff is loading in a little bit slower, it looks like. Ooh, but that does look good. I mean, honestly, yeah. I'm actually really impressed. And, performance issues and stuff like that, those are things that should hopefully get better with time. And like I said, in just a couple days since the closed beta started, they've already improved it a lot, because when I first loaded this up on the 6th, yeah, I could not touch high. High was just a horrible, laggy mess. And I don't have like a 4090 or anything like that, but I got a halfway decent card. I'm running 3060 Ti. So, yeah, okay. This has definitely improved a lot, because, yeah, I could not even touch high when I first started playing the game. It was a complete mess, and this is actually somewhat playable. Okay, so, cons, it's closed beta. There are some localization issues. There is a little bit of a jank here and there. But that's it so far, folks. That's it. Outside of that, the game is super fun. It's enjoyable. I am honestly having a great time so far with it, and I'm really looking forward to how things turn out and how they keep on going, because if NetEase and Starry Night keeps going in the direction that they're currently going, I see a very bright future for this game. Anyways, that's the video. That's my first impressions of Once Human. It's an absolute blast to play so far. If you get a chance, try it out. As always, everybody, I appreciate you all. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Until next time, this is your boy Trandel signing out.